Hello geeks, freaks, and spooky fiends. How you doing today? Good? I hope so. I've got a pretty cool video for you today. Definitely awkward, definitely not the greatest edit in the world, but hey, thank you for coming to watch. And yeah, so today we're gonna be working on Tinkerbell, my favorite cosplay that I've ever done. All I've got right for you guys is, well, the wig. But you know what? It's fine. Let me know if you guys want to see other things that I have made for the Tinkerbell costume. And honestly, maybe, who knows? I'll be learning how to use the machine to make a Tinkerbell cosplay on my own. Let me know if you want to watch me suffer. But here's the video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you at the end, guys. So first things first, the base of any wig, you want to tease the heck out of it. Then after that, I decided to start separating it in sections. You could see how crazy the tease was. Again, you want to see what you want as bangs, what you don't want as the bangs. And once that's done, I'm going to start adding those wefts that you saw. You'll see there, I started adding them. So under there, add, and that's the old wig, which I'm going to cut into pieces. Here we actually started separating it. So this didn't really fall out as a plan, but I was trying and I hoped that it would work. Basically, I took a weft, put it through the bun, and then I basically anchored it there with a bunch of bobby pins. And then right after that, I did the same thing over and over and over again. So hoping anyway that would work. But yeah, this was just a trial and error process. Essentially here now, I wanted to tease until I couldn't see any of the underlining. I was hoping to create basically like fluffy clouds to hide all of those weft lines, in the hopes that my wig didn't look thin when I had to pick everything up in the bun. So right there is where I found that it was the most thin. So there you go. That's what I was hoping for, and that's what I tried to keep it as. I'm gonna keep in my mistakes because I feel like we do all good. Oh, hello, baby girl. We do great from learning from our mistakes, don't we, Lucy? Yes, yes, we do. Anyway, so I was gonna just find a way to like tuck that under anything that I was gonna... Hi. She loves to help. Anyway, so basically, here's again, we're gonna try and use that to cover the rat's nest that I created. Definitely not my best. I could have teased that so much better, but whatever, it's fine. Again, like I said, it didn't even plan out, so yeah, I just wanted to make a ball out of that and then cover it up, and whatever, it's heck, it is what it is. Here is a lovely little behind the scenes late at night, and you'll see right there is Lucy's butt. And she's gonna come out just hi. Yeah, I swear to God, I was dying. She was so cute. This is what it is to, you know, be a cosplayer and then want to continue finishing a project. Like, I didn't want to stop midway. And she's just here like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Hello? What are you doing? Anyway, she's so cute. But yeah. Anyway, back to the wig. So, here we are. I managed to put everything up like we had done over and over and over again. And I used hair clips to make sure that it weighed down. That way nothing flipped or anything. I really didn't like the way that it parted at the bottom. But basically what I did was I took some of that old hair that I had, glued it together. I had used Elmer's glue, and then for some reason I thought that I could just put it there and it would be fine, you know, and it would cover up any gaping holes that showed off, you know, see the scalp of the wig. And yeah, and like I said, in the end I just decided this is an awful idea, because I got so annoyed afterwards, but it's fine. Anyway, so here's me steaming the wig. Essentially here, I wanted to see what it would look like. Honestly, if you were to get anything, a steamer is the only way to go. You only want steamers. Not only you can use it for getting the wrinkles out of your different cosplays, but my gosh, does this thing work so well when it comes to wig styling. I will never ever use like an iron, and I don't think I'll ever invest in a crimper because it's expensive, and also the steamer literally does wonders. You don't even have to worry about knots and stuff. Again, it steams the hair. It makes it so much easier to brush, because on the contrary of, let's say, normal hair, well, you know, human hair, it's annoying to brush your hair when you get out of the shower, right? Well, when it comes to wigs, it's actually the complete opposite. The more wet they are, the easier it is to brush through it. See, now you can see I'm getting very irritated by that weird weft that I decided to add, but everything is fine because I eventually realized that this is not a great plan. But I didn't want to keep this in though, because here's a cool little trick. I wanted to make sure that everything was lined up properly. A lot of the time when you're create like a straight line, or you're trying to make things look like you brushed it upward, I like to use any kind of parting brush, so anything with that thin pointed end, and I'll help the hairs kind of just straighten, I guess, from underneath. Anyway, I'll even use it to tuck. So here you can see I'm actually tucking, but obviously you can't see because I'm absolutely garbage at doing anything that has to do with filming, so that's okay. Basically, I'm just shifting things to where they need to be. Anyway, so the next morning I decided I'm gonna undo the whole freaking thing. So this is what happened. I undid absolutely everything because I hated the way I was putting the wefts. I hated the way that I had teased everything. I hated absolutely everything. But I decided to continue doing that trick that I was doing before with the donut bun. So I did take the entire front section, like you can see, all that I'm pointing out, to then put it through the bun. I also separated everything that I want for the bangs and then the sideburns. And then everything that I knew was gonna be in the back of the head. Now here, this is the very back. And you could see I actually decided to strangle her. I tied a rope around my mannequin's head, as you can see, that loops under the really long hair, see, in the back, that allows me to then bring that up and then put it through that donut bun and launch it to the front of the head. So this is how I got around having to add wefts to my wig, because I was not about to sew even more wefts onto this thing. And then once everything was done and picked up, I decided to undo this little beautiful choker I gave her. And we hope and pray it stayed. It stayed. It didn't fall to pieces. It didn't go crazy. As you can see, obviously, some of the wefts that I added, they're very blocky. All that had to get trimmed. They came from, like I said, that old wig that I used to have. But I was honestly really happy with the end results here. I did edit it a bit, shifted things, but it's fine. Finally, I brought myself into a shower. That way this doesn't get too disgusting and the cleanup isn't the worst thing in the world. So here I am using a fine comb. Don't use the teeth, is what I've realized. The only reason I use the teeth when I'm trying to make things work and sit and be straightened is, well, so that I could hold it up almost kind of like a bobby pin, but like easily removed. Because once you start putting hairspray on this thing, it becomes so easy to just lift the hair the way you want it, in the position you want it, and then just kind of drag it up, and then you just stick the comb into the spot you want, and you leave it there. And then if you want, you could actually go ahead and spray it with hairspray again. I like to use the Got To Be hairspray. I mean, that's literally what most cosplayers use for hairspray, because it's literally like cement. But basically, yeah, as you can see, I don't have hand coordination and I am absolutely insane, but it's fine. I try and lift everything I can towards the top of the bun so that way it could look tight around the head, almost like a natural bun. Again, as natural as we can get it, to be honest. It's not gonna be perfect because, let's be real, it's a wig. It's fine. Anyway, on this wig, I did my best to just make sure that everything was as put together as possible. And again, really cool trick. Like I said, if you want to keep your hair, make sure that certain sections stay together, you could use the teeth to then stick it into an area of the wig and it'll literally just stay there, I swear. But also you can see I'm using sometimes the back. I find it so much easier to use the back of a brush than to use your fingers to, let's say, lift any part of the hair to a specific spot that you want to. I know a lot of people use their hands to then, you know, kind of like flatten things or whatever. I personally hate it because the glue gets stuck onto my fingers and, well, I just dropped that. That's great. But I hate how the glue gets stuck to my fingers, you see, and then afterwards it kind of pulls off small like free hairs that I wasn't expecting to discover. And essentially, to me, that becomes really annoying because I want it to be flat, I want it to be put together, and my fingers do nothing more than just pull out hair and make it look frizzy, and it's just, anyway, use the back of your brush, okay? It's flat plastic, it's much better than your fingers. Afterwards, once everything has been hairsprayed and flattened, don't forget to use blow dryer to definitely harden that stuff as soon as you can. I went ahead and I decided to use a cute little ribbon that looks like a little vine with leaves. I know that Tinkerbell's, say, elastic, I guess, around her hair kind of looks like a green ribbon. But I wanted to do something a little more natural because, I mean, she is a fairy and she's a Tinker fairy, if anything else. So I wanted it to seem like she just, you know, wove a little thing of vines to create a rope to then pick up her hair. She's literally in the woodlands. They live in this beautiful place that I wish existed, and you know, I believe in fairies. But I thought that it was just a little nicer to do something a little more natural, just to bring back that fairy element, that woodsy element into her. And it just makes it look a little more like she does live in a teapot. If you want to do a more traditional Tinkerbell look, you could definitely go and find a whole bunch of other different ribbons to put around the bun. Honestly, number one ribbon that I would recommend, a velvet ribbon is so pretty. Now down to the finishing results. Here it is. Yes, I was so happy with the way that it turned out. Honestly, I was kind of worried about chopping up that other wig and putting it into this one, but honestly, it came out really good. Well, I hope it was informative. If anyone has any questions, definitely leave them down below in the graveyard and I'll answer them as soon as I can. I don't like leaving spirits hanging anyway. And as for everything else, thank you guys so much for watching today. I really appreciate it. And if you have anything else that you'd want me to, you know, maybe share, do, etc., let me know. And again, I will see you guys next time when I resurrect from the grave. Sleep like the dead, guys. Bye.